Hi everyone, I'm Haydee and welcome to Weekly Gaming Traffic, where I briefly show and talk about check-worthy, in my opinion, games that has been released in the last week. I will be honest with you. When I first looked at this game I wanted to skip it right away, but luckily I'm not like that. Because lots of effort and thought has been put into saving harmony, cool top-down survival. What can we expect? Most of all, virtually infinite procedurally generated environment. Then we have night and day cycle, which should be a standard feature in every survival, and perma-death system. From more unique features, we have physics-based inventory, which is awesomely innovative, and trade system, letting us barter with creatures. What is also quite exceptional is the story, loosely based on true events that happened in 1920s. Another week, another platformer. I know what you're thinking, and no, it's not about silicone implant trying to escape one of the Florida factories. Actually, this would be a better story than the one presented for us in Goo Saga HD Edition by Toca Games. The elastic thing we control is some cray-cray experiment creation, and it wants to go back to its creator. That's cute. In its pursuit for Huggy Time with mad scientist, the Goo has to slide through 20 levels full of enemies and puzzles. We can upgrade 8 gooey abilities to make our slimy adventure easier in 3 different states of elasticity: deflated, inflated, and normal. That's it? No, we can also create our own levels with included level editor, upload them to the server, download and rate someone else's creations. Each and every level in the game can be completed in 3 different modes: survival, time trial, and normal. Speaking of silicone implants, speaking of cybernetic implants, speaking of implants in general, let's not speak, let's watch Haydee in action. She has nice bottom with high-heeled legs attached to it. She has swingy front, correctly physically simulated. She has no face. Perfection for every man and woman. Where's her ASHPD, you ask? No portal devices, just gun. Poor Haydee wakes up in a strange artificial complex with 6 sections and 160 rooms to explore, full of traps, enemies, and hidden items. However, for the gameplay and overall quality, asking price is little too much. I'd say wait for sale and then get it, if you asked me. How much can you pay for 90 minutes of fun, puzzly, bloody, jump-scary gameplay? None? Then you got yourself a deal, young man. Trick and Treat is all that wrapped in a really nice artwork and memorable characters. The game hits the spot like not many. Multiple endings, fun to solve puzzles, jumpy but not horrifying scares, mentioned original artwork along with sprites and CGS, and it's free to play. So go and check it. No, wait, stay and watch and then you go. Finally, something for entire family. No, seriously, if you're a dad or mommy and you want to spend time with your kiddo, this game is perfect to do so. Bubble Jungle Super Chameleon Platformer World offers multiplayer cooperative story up to 4 players. Very smooth, easy to play 3D platformer with over 50 levels to beat. Nice and clear graphics, no violence because Bubble Jungle Super Chameleon shoots with bubbles. And to make it more fun, you and your kiddo or your kid and his friends can customize their chameleons. Bonus good news for parents. The price is less than Happy Meal. So stay at home, cook dinner and spend time with your kids. You know, I always cheer for developers inspired by games of 90s, creating something new from something that has been so good but forgotten. EARTHLOCK Festival of Magic belongs to JRPG genre. Basically, it's all I could say and everything should be clear. The story is okay, it's not bad, it's just that we've seen so much in our lives, it's really nearly impossible to stand out in this area. But the combat is awesome, definitely core aspect of the game. Duh. Sometimes running around beautifully made locations feels empty, but everything looks so magical. I would also recommend to check the price tag first. If it's too high at the moment, wait for it to go down with time. But do not forget about EARTHLOCK Festival of Magic. You know what? I will be just like the graphics in this game. Measurement Problem is a puzzle platformer. The game is developed and published by Alchemist Studio. The game has been fully released and I just informed you about it. If puzzle games of all sorts is your thing, then you will definitely like this one. Sig.NULL is kept in, I would say, dark, cyber, hacky, yet not tacky atmosphere. Pretty cool mechanics, affordable, to not say cheap, because it may sound like low quality, which is not. It says it's a remake of Puzzle Script. The game is developed by Sennheiser and published by Dagestan Technology. You are fired! Pack your stuff and leave the office now! You could say it's over. Pack your stuff and walk out, depressed. You can also look at this situation as a new beginning. Everything begins with choice, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Filbert. You choose to stay, and oops, you punch your computer. Oops, you throw a chair, table, another chair, you hit someone, you set something on fire, and you start to feel soothing rage flowing in your veins. The only thing I feel not so good about is that ripping off sound. Accountant on the 12th floor is too high. If he could go down to 5th floor, the ripping off sound would change into cha-ching, if you know what I mean. So, did Vas ever tell you the definition of insanity? Throwing a Lichtspeer at waves of enemies, over and over and over and over and over and over again, expecting them to stop. That is crazy. The first time I saw Zombie coming at me, I thought he was bullshitting me, so boom, I stabbed him with my Lichtspeer. The thing is, he was right. And then I started seeing everywhere I looked, all these f***ing enemies coming at me, over and over and over again, thinking this time is gonna be different. This time, I'm sorry, but I don't like the price tag on this thing. But it's okay. It's okay. It's like water under the bridge. Just when you thought you've seen it all in puzzle games. Maybe you have, but this one is quite interesting and very nicely made. First of all, it's story driven. You are a hacker and you hack by solving spatial puzzles, which means you must put blocks of certain shape in the right way to fit through security hole. The game is challenging and the story can be a good motivator to keep going. Now, this game is something to be recommended, worth of its price, and it's my cup of whiskey. Rogue Wizards, fully turn-based dungeon crawler mixed with city builder. How cool is that? The graphics, appealing, especially with that awesome Fog of War feature, as you can see. And if you don't know what I mean, I'm talking about blocks coming down in front of you and dropping down behind you. Randomly generated dungeons, lots of loot to get to craft, upgrade and eventually destroy lots of mobs with unique abilities. 6 schools of magic with upgradable spells and randomized magic items providing variety of ways to slay your foes. The game is developed and published by Spellbind Studios. Masquerada, Songs and Shadows. Awesome eye-catching comic book art, flawless voice acting, engaging story, but the combat is not good. It's supposed to be real-time with tactical pause to plan moves and attacks, but it narrows to choosing targets and skills. So, be aware. The combat in Masquerada Songs and Shadows is not its best feature, but the rest of it is. Now, Herolike is a pretty fun game. We run around randomized areas killing mobs in 4 types of encounters, like hack and slash, artifact defense, boss fight, or RPG-based choice mission. You also have your own little town to build and upgrade in. The price for this one shouldn't be scaring you off, quite opposite. It's reasonable. Hey, let me show you something. Watch. See this? Can you feel it? It's been out. Nothing left to say. Ortus Arena. I like this game, it's interesting. I am planning to buy it and play it, but I have no idea about it, so I'm going to read the brochure for you. Ortus Arena is a symmetric turn-based game for 2 players, where you have to control 5 energy wells on the board, or be the first to knock down 8 of your opponent's warriors to win. To do so, you'll have to manage your energy stock, useful for moving your warriors or make them attack during your turns, but also to defend from your enemy's aggression within his turn. No dice rolling, no card drawing. The victory is entirely up to your logical and strategic skills. Luck has no place in Ortus, but your brain does. So, did Vas ever tell you the definition of insanity? Do you remember the 16-wheeler's crash in Matrix Reloaded? Now you can play the scene over and over and over and over and over again. Because Clustertruck is nothing else but first-person view platformer which happens on top of a highway full of trucks. Awesome idea, cool physics, lots of action. More games with cool physics? You got it! Particle Fleet Emergence lets you design your own partially destructible and self-repairing ships, creating fleets to fight against massive physics simulation in real time. It means that your enemy will not be necessarily controlled by some scripted logic, but it will be literally pouring out on your ships. How cool is that, I'm asking you? Speaking of massive, Giant Machines 2017 offers you to take control over 7 of the biggest industrial machines in the world. You don't just sit behind the wheel and screw around. There is a campaign made of 14 missions all around the world. You will be excavating, lifting, transporting, driving, pulling and constructing using those huge bad boys or bad girls. It is a great deal for all the fans of heavy stuff. Wuppo. Wuppo is fun and chilled yet complex adventure game set in wondrous world filled with wooms, fnuckers and other strange creatures. What can you expect from Wuppo? Adventures, weird places, tiny enemies, massive enemies, an ancient conflict to solve, and perhaps you find a new home. The graphics at first sight looks like it was made in paint, but it's just a first impression. The game mechanics and overall gameplay is flawless. The price is also decent, and if not, well then... If you enjoyed 5 Guardians of David, Kingdom Games released another game from the 5 series, Champions of Canaan. The price is good. I'm all about the money in this episode. Sheesh. Anyway, one of the Steam reviews says, great to see some single-player gladiator combat that is not very common at all, and it has no zombies. And this is the good time to mention this game. Zombie Defense is a mix-up of RTS and tower defense. We recruit soldiers to place them in strategic positions to stop waves of zombies. We can order supplies, airstrike, throw grenades, and of course shoot to kill countless of zombies in 49 missions in many difficulty modes. For the earned money, we buy upgrades and new technologies. The game offers lots of features and it's free to play. If you like mindless top-down shooters, you should definitely take a closer look at Hybrid Wars. Why mindless? Because the story, objectives and all that is just an excuse to kill and blow up everything on sight. Well, for some people, combat is everything they need. I would rant about the price, but... well, I think I just did. Next top-down shooter in line is not so mindless. Unaided 1939 offers variety of approaches to combat situations. It depends on players if they go in blasting everything around or decide to be more stealthy. You make your way through using realistic guns ranging from HDM silence pistol to Panzerfausts, which is tank destroyer if someone didn't know. The game also have quite interesting story, which happens just before Germany attacked Poland. Well-made game for reasonable price. Caravan is one of those human resources survival traveling managers. This one is coming in the Orient flavor. Go on a journey through dangers of deserts, explore, trade, and most of all, manage, so you and your companions don't die too fast. The only flaw would be that nothing is randomly generated in this game, which makes it predictable with time. There are many hybrids and genre mix-up games, but this one definitely stands out. It's an RPG combat mixed with rhythm mechanics, like in Guitar Hero. Rhythmic combat is wrapped in a story and voila, we get the Metronomicon. The game really speaks, or rather sounds, for itself. 10 seconds of a gameplay video is enough to know what the game is like. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Before I get to the last game, I would like to make an exception and mention shortly about an early access production called Rescue Bear Operation. The game is free to play, mainly for kids, to create awareness about wildfires. We don't see this kind of creations in gaming world too often, so it's really worth checking out. Also, 30% of net proceeds will be donated to charitable causes. Last game of this episode, Lost in Woods 2, which I will not show here because I bought it and I played it and recorded it, so if you want to know more about the game, which is about being lost in woods, click on the link to the video with my commentary and personal opinion. And that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it or found something interesting for yourself. and see you next week, whether you like it or not. Bye!